To those waiting for the clock, by the way, how are you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for waiting for the game to start. Thank you so much for your patience. We are still waiting for the game to start. We are still waiting for players to join the server, so I'll bring up the timer whenever I have a good idea on what's going on. Otherwise, enjoy the vibes as we get ready for the debut of Team Verum and Team Hyper for Season 36 of ESEA Advanced. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? Hey, welcome on in. Finally, it is time for Season 36. And Team Verum, they got a new squad and they have a new hope coming into this season. I mean, what a time to be alive, right? Team Verum, mostly a Brazilian organization picking up this young NA squad. And, well, they're looking to start things off pretty strongly against the boys at Team Hyper. My name is UpMind, and I'm going to be taking you guys through this best of one on the night. I think we are waiting just for the game to start up. I see you guys in the chat. You guys are vibing. Hopefully the music is just like, just calming. It is just lo-fi. It's royalty free. Can't really get much on Twitch. But looking into today's game, we do have ourselves Overpass being played up. Lots of team moves being made over the offseason. It will be almost impossible for me to really go over through everything, but I want to see how everyone's doing in chat. I saw my brother Brian 2K. Brian, I hope all is well. Yo Hazinho, what's up? What's poppin'? Hopefully you're fine. Hopefully you are well. It's been a while, my friends. To everyone else, I know for a fact that there are some Brazilians watching, então bem-vindo, gente. Again, I'm going to be commentating in English, but hopefully in the future we get some Portuguese casts going. I know that Team Verum, they do have a Brazilian caster on their roster, so whenever I'm away or whenever you guys want a little bit of flavor to some of your matches, you guys can get yourself some Brazilian Portuguese action. Of course, I can provide some commentary here and there in Portuguese. Of course, I am Brazilian, but it is what it is. Now, let's see if the game's actually starting. I think we are waiting for the knife round to actually go by. Let's see. Everyone in chat. Who else can I shout out? Thank you to Shadowzine for stopping by. Strong não tem como NTC. Thank you to all the followers of the day too. Johnny Frags. Thank you to Mills, who's going to be playing. Shout outs to Mills. Good luck, Mills. Hopefully he's not actually watching because the game should have actually started by now, but it is what it is. Thank you to RN Treta. Thank you to Rain, thank you to 96 Costa, Shadow, Zing, Tuba Fix, Magoo, of course, the CEO of Team Verum. Thank you to him and Bo Jr. for having me on. It's good times. Very happy to be here. Thank you to Yoha and Strong for the follow. So, of course, I think looking back on past seasons, for those who know Team Verum, they've been mostly throughout ESEA main. I think they have had a stint in ESEA Advanced. This roster, however, this roster specifically did have a little bit of a stint last season in ESEA. I think it was Advanced playoffs. Yeah, barely made it in though. 11-5, but still a good run in general. I think the knife round is going down. I can shut down my music and we can actually get into the game. Fun stuff, fun times. I'm just kind of excited to see what this roster actually has to really offer because we haven't seen much of these guys really throughout the offseason either. Let's see if I have everything right. No, I do not. Let's swap them over. There you go. Nice and clean, nice and clean. I would like to hope. Yes, sir, ski. Let's get into it. ESEA Advanced Season 36 starting off with a bang. It's both teams starting off with the teams, but it's Team Verum facing off against Team Hyper. Team Hyper, a classic name in the Counter-Strike scene. We've seen them in a couple of seasons here and there, and I think the round won't even start. There's a little bit of a suicide, and I think the round is going to be scrapped. I don't know. I think they have to be communicating at this point. They would want a little bit of a medic, but whatever it may be, I don't know the rule set. Someone else would have to decide it. But early on, Team Verum, they want connector control, and they want to catch off what would be a stray rotation. Not going to be able to find anything, though, but instead, it is going to be Jonesy all in his lonesome, getting himself a kill over towards the B side. In comes the fast rotation. There are two players here, one over towards the heaven area. Ajax, what a peek! But now it's going to be War, trying to hold things back. Has the taps, has the lineup. Sorabashi does get the return frag, though. Now it's a 1v2. Deranos now is getting pinched. Has the headshot onto Subarashi. The 4v5 turned into a 1v1. Mirth playing around Monster. Can't get the kill, so instead Damos gets on top. Barely any time for Damos, however, but he does have the fuse kits, and that's going to be the round. Mirth gets it. Now, for Team Verum in that round, they were looking for just hard control and early what would be punishment, because there's not much to really study off of, so that was just a really good default. They know that Jonesy can be a really hard entry fragger for the team, or just a hard fragger in general. They put him alone over towards the B side, get himself a little bit of information. It just so happened to be that Team Hyper, they actually had all of their eggs in one basket. Lots of players over towards that B site. If I'm not mistaken, 3 out of the 4 players remaining, and it did end up working on their favor for a second there. Team Verum to take it back. This one, however, Team Hyper, they are going to opt to actually buy up a couple of Deegs to kind of equalize things at around that 2K range. Except for, of course, Hippo Saver and Waterfall. Don't really know if it's going to be the most efficient thing on planet Earth, but it might just work out in their favor. Speaking of things working out in their favor, Hippo Saver. Up close and personal with the Deagle. Deimos did take a little bit of damage early on from a wide swing, but other than that, Team Verum playing very safe and conservative, but this could bite them back. Look at this situation. You have none other than Waterfalls essentially walking by Ajax. Ajax thinks that he has full P control, but instead now Waterfalls has full angle over towards Squeaky. They're not going to peek this corner. Couple of knives out, but he can't get any of the kills. Oh, that's so tragic. Ajax. He has a Mac 10. He can go for the wide swing. Easy peasy. We already talked about a couple of surprises in the round, but we're not done just yet. You have none other than Jonesy in the back lines. He gets revealed and he's going to get traded back by War B. This round is, of course, done and dusted, but War can still get a couple of frags back and forth. Really try to affect the economy of Team Verum. But Ajax is going to get it back. That's the round, folks. Team Verum 2-0 up early. Team Hyper, you would assume, would be able to buy a couple of rifles in this round, but because of the force buy coming in from both Waterfalls and Hippo Saver, not exactly going to work out in their favor. So a couple of pistols here and there, not going to be too bad. Here we go again, folks. Yet another round where we have what would be considered a little bit of a default. One over deep towards the B side already. This is interesting. Apologies. There you go. Mills. Now already sitting up in sandbags, and I don't really think that they have at least an inkling that he would be over towards this direction, mainly because Team Verum haven't made too much noise. Lots of util being thrown, however, but that's just overall just a bait and switch in a sense. Team Hyper, the last thing that they would want to do here is really hard commits, hard gamble. It looks indeed like they're not going to do so. Watch out for Hippo Saver, though. Has the lineup. Jonesy making a whole lot of noise. One shot. 1 kill. Beautiful stuff from Hippo Saver. That's going to take out at least one of the rifles from this round. But Mills, nice, quick, and easy. Point blank with the Mac 10. Goes for the wide swing. Going to be able to get the kill. I think more importantly, we have to watch out for Waterfalls in this toxic position. He wasn't revealed by Mills in his wide swing. And, oh, when I say that he's important, he's going to have to go huge. But again, yet another round where the Deagle goes absolutely against this squad. And Mills, he could just continue to hold W. 3 kills for Mills on the round, 3 kills on the game. That's a whole lot of cash for this Team Verum squad to be able to reinvest in, but it's almost the exact same thing for Team Hyper. Loss bonus, of course, is going to be up against the favor of Verum, but if they end up winning out this round, that's a hard reset. And not only that, but they're going to be vibing out in terms of round count. Most likely about 5-0 by the end of things. Now, the early setup. 3B. Not fast rotations. Nothing of the sort. They are just going to be playing 3 solid players over towards B, with one at least playing first contact. That's going to be Waterfalls. Waiting out for that paw flash. Got to watch out for Waterfalls. He's trying to walk into that smoke. In comes Super Rashi. Emerges through. Now War B and Mustang are trying to hold things back. Mustang, he's been relatively quiet throughout this game, but with a rifle in his hands, he could go absolutely massive. Gets himself one, but Ajax and Super Rashi with a trade back. Hippo Saver and Deimos with the return frags. And When the dust settles, it's going to be Mills now in a 1v2, and he goes down. Full eyes on Deimos. But a 1-3 scoreline at the very end of things. So this puts Team Verum in a little bit of a predicament. They have more than enough cash to actually reinvest back into things, and Team Hyper ended up taking on 3 casualties. So although Team Verum ended up losing out that round in what would be considered pretty dominant form, both teams are in very fragile positions in terms of economy. So that's what I was trying to mention before. Very tricky scenario. Team Verum, very disjointed setup once again, but this time a little bit more conservative from what we've seen before from their default. Instead of trying to play hard interaction or hard contact, it's very slow build. But Team Hyper, they're doing something a little bit better. They're not approaching at all. They're not even watching over choke points. Playing hard objective. Having Team Verum grind out all of their util early on. Is a very easy spot to flash out, but it would have to be a kill from Deimos, and indeed he gets it. Beautiful off-angle position, or just disjointed position in general. He's going to be able to get the frag. So one over towards Long. Mirth. Gonna go down to Hippo Saver. That's an easy one. Classic 1v1. Either one had really a hard chance to win that one. But now things start to get messy. Team Hyper, they already put one over towards that back line, Waterfalls. And what might be off of his own volition starts to waltz into the back lines. Ajax, the player that was already revealed over towards this B site, is making a little bit of noise. More importantly, though, you do have 2 players waiting up over towards the A site. One already quickly on the rotation. More importantly, it is going to be Deimos on the front lines. Deimos goes down to Jonesy. Still watching the cross. Hippo Saver can't get anything. He's still alive, though. 30 HP. Bomb is going to be able to go down in default. Ajax takes down 1. Still Warby with a return frag. Now it's a 2v1. Runs out of bullets, but it's Subarashi with a frag. Team Verum back on top. 4-1. So Team Hyper, although they took on what would be a very, very good tempo-changing win for them just the round before, they're going to get shut down. Their economy wasn't able to really develop, and now they're back to the Deagles. Their 3rd round of the game thus far, just playing out on that classic Deco buy. Now, give me a second here, folks. Apologies. Oh, I love the spam. Spam this hand spam this hand to help Team Grand. Absolutely right. I love how it's considered Team Grand. I don't know the lore behind it. I don't know the story behind it. But I do know, of course, Grand's a big part of the Team Verum organization. I don't know why you would call it Team Grand, however. It's a little bit tricky to really figure out. But, well, if you have a face of the organization, why not use it? Hippo Saver on the front line is going to be able to take down 1 in terms of Jonesy, but more importantly, Mills with a quick double tap. Grand, the pai of nós todos. Okay, I understand. The father figure. O pai do grupo. This round's super easy, folks. A couple of Deagles here and there. Team Hyper can't do much. Talvez o professor. Professor de CS americano. CS norte-americano. Quem sabe? 2 players remaining. It's going to be War B and Mustang trying to make their way through with a couple of Deagles still on the front lines. Ajax going to snag himself a second. War B somehow escapes. Hard headshot angle on 1. Even then, has 2 players walking into his crosshairs. Could have gotten a little bit rough, but even then, it is going to be a round back for Team Verum. 5-1. They maintain 2 of the rifles alive, so even then, a little bit more economic damage being made onto the Verum squad. Ué, vocês nem sabem que eu sou brasileiro. Sim, meu inglês é ok. Meu português é pior ainda, mas... Sim, eu sou brasileiro, gente. Bem-vindos. Big take, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a nade, actually. Massive setup. Hippo Saver. Knowing that bottom con has been taken full control of. He throws a deep nade. It opens up the door, and it opens up for a player in water to just get himself one free frag. Could have even gotten two. And just like that, the clamp down on that connector take from Team Verum absolutely breaks down. One person trying to hold the line. It is going to be Jonesy, but Mirth is up and away. And he's down. Team Hyper, a dominant round, but an even more dominant setup. Considering that Team Verum, 3 rounds out of this game thus far, they have gone for a little bit more of a connector-centric take. This time it gets picked apart by what would be, I mean, really the most optimal setup. I mean, no one from Team Verum was really hard challenging over towards water from tunnels. So to that extent, you just have full control of water. You have a player top connector with a little bit of util. They use that util in the right fashion, and just like that, the round's over. Team Verum in this round, however, with a couple of CZs, that's a hard buy, and there's 2 players in their crosshairs, fully flashed. There's still 1 player remaining, as he's going to be a Waterfalls, but Ajax, what's up? 3 kills with a CZ. The kills are his, but is the round theirs? Jonesy on site, has the M4. There's a player fully in view. Deimos with a couple of shots through the box. Did get a little bit risky. That flash could do bits. Has to run away from that molly, though. They have full control of this site, full control of the bomb. This is such a tall task for Hippo Saver, but he could still pop off. So many players without armor. He picks up 2 immediately. Only 1 angle to actually look onto. The CZ still out. Gonna have to win this battle. Barely at the end of time. Jonesy gets it. 1 more player in that same area. Mirth has to get it. Deimos taking away time. And that's gonna be the round, isn't it? The 1v1 and Mirth wins it. Verum with a 6th round, and it's an eco. They need a timeout. Shaken to the core. Team Hyper now. After taking on what has been such a rough patch of rounds. And I'm not going to say rough in their favor, but just very difficult. Not able to really make their way past what would be the initial setups from Verum. And I can't even say that either. Verum hasn't gone for too many hard setups, hard executes, anything of the sort. It's just those 1v1 duels that sometimes are just evading them. But whatever it may be, Team Hyper, they need a timeout. They need to restructure. And looks like a part of that restructuring is going to be, at least for this round, with the Deagles, as most of the team had around 3k to 4k. Put one at least over towards Connector. He wants to fight that, but there's not going to be anyone there. Instead, Team Verum does something that they haven't done in this half just yet. It's take long control. Mills. Gonna catch Hippo Saver off. In such an aggressive position, but Deimos. He's actually been a hard fragger for this team thus far, and he can continue his streak if he can get a couple of headshots. So many players in his crosshairs, not enough bullets, not enough hits. It's going to be Team Verum with full control of sight. Well, such a tough retake for Team Hyper. Best thing that they can do at this point, potentially try their hardest and make their way back on site. But really more optimally, take away some of these deagles in these guys' hands. Ajax, what a gap in the smoke. Gonna be able to catch Mustang right through it. Or B thought that he had a chance. No way. Ajax, what a half from this guy thus far. Waterfalls on his lonesome. Can save the AK. Still has a little bit of a battle to go through. Jonesy down to 33 HP. But it's still gonna be the kill from Subarashi. So no AKs being saved, only 2 rifles being dropped by Team Verum. Not a lot of economic damage, but it still keeps them at a relatively low point. We're still very deep. Well, not very deep, sorry. We're very early into the half. In a sense, where Team Hyper, they can still very linearly be able to take things back. And with this round alone, I mean, they can at least get that momentum and at least the cash bonus back. Now, I like this again. The same setup that Team Hyper ended up fully counteracting this squad just a little bit earlier on. It's Hippo Saver with a little bit of util over towards the connector area. Not a little bit, a lot of it. Had a smoke, a nade, and 2 flashes. Clears out the connector area, but this time it doesn't really work out in Team Hyper's favor the way that they wanted it to. And this is a very A-heavy setup. Putting all of their eggs into one basket, hoping for the best. Deimos, however, this guy's going nuts. Has a second opportunity, even a third to try to get the kill, but only gets one. Jonesy clears things up in the mid area. The avenue is clear. They have a full way onto that A site. The only person that can really fight back at this point is going to be War B, as Mills has already made his way over towards Truck, and he's going to get countered on. This 7-2 from Verum looking like an 8th round to already secure the half. And if Mills really wants to continue this aggressive streak, I mean, why not? Put the nail in the coffin. Mustang around the corner. Great angle. Good off angle. That's going to be able to restrict things down to a 2-on-3. Doesn't look like these players are actually able to hard commit to it, though. I think Subarashi is going to get cut off now 2v2. Not enough time for them to make their way on site. Good exit frags. Does restrict the economy of Team Verum a little bit. Does that win them the round? Absolutely not. Team Verum, the Owls, still win things out. They're going to be just fine. Also, I should turn off this music, but I kind of like Halo. It's like the only music that I have on. It's just the MVP music. I usually turn it off, but I forgot to do so today. My config is a little messed up in terms of broadcast. I had to use like 3 different execs, 3 different configs to actually get this observer feed running. In the future, folks, there will be a little bit of a revamp to what you guys see on your screen. Of course, this is nice. You get the team logos and whatnot, but we have a beautiful redesign being done by the staff of Team Verum coming up in just a couple of days. So hopefully by the second match day, we get a little bit of a revamp. In comes the early approach. Flash from Mills. Out goes Ajax. No further approach. Just chipping them down one by one. And it's almost brutal to think of it in that nature. They already know that there's at least 2 players over towards that area, but Team Hyper, they're more than aware that this team goes everywhere. Their defaults aren't just defaults. They're spreads. But Mills, did he not spot him? Oh, no. So that's a hard frag that they would have taken. I was more than anticipating that. I don't think it was Deimos, but, yeah, Hippo Saver. I thought it was dead there. Sheesh. Subarashi. In bathrooms waiting up, and 2 players over towards long looking to make their take. Not a lot of util being used, nor do they have a lot of util. Only 5 pieces of it. Flash coming out from Deimos, trying to fight early over towards long. That's such a risky scenario. Hippo Saver over towards Truck, essentially as the last hope for this team on this site. But with 10 seconds left, they have more time to actually get that bomb down, and indeed they will. Subarashi still in the front lines. Warby gonna be able to get the kill. And not only that, but the low HP Mills walks right into his crosshair. Nice transfer of the spray. Team Hyper with a 3rd round, and this half isn't done by any means. Nice tries overall, but simply not enough as Team Verum, again, getting very aggressive off of those default setups is making space in the right positions, but there's not enough of that. I guess for overpass, there's so many areas where, at least for isolated approaches, where the CTs can take more control than you have, and eventually just get some cheeky lurks, cheeky frags and whatnot. It can get rough like that, but Team Verum, they face that on head on. Looking forward into this round, Team Verum. A rough buy to say the least. Mirth not able to get really any util going for him. He only has a Galil in armor. And Ajax, he opts to go for the Mac 10. Whole lot of util, but he's really just going to be the one-man band. Kill from Hippo Saver onto Mills, the solo man over towards mid. Still 2 over towards that back line. Jonesy gets the return frag back. They know that Hippo Saver is still around this area. Fast rotation coming in from Mustang, but there's still 2 players over towards the B sites. As Team Verum, they actually split things up with just about 80 seconds left. A little bit of util to actually use up. That's 6 pieces of it. But more importantly, Hippo Saver. Here's a little bit of a spray from Subarashi. He's like a viper slithering through the tall grass. He gets an opportunity to strike, he'll take it. But his prey disappears for now, while the rest of Team Verum lays over towards that B site looking for a take. But now in comes Subarashi, actually able to make himself a little bit of a solo take over towards the B site. Attention is split, and the 2 people on this site are taken down by Mirth. The man with a Galil, the man with a plan. He takes it all by himself. Now, let's watch out for this battle. You still have Mustang waiting up to at least try to kill Subarashi off this flank. Or at least off the lurk. That's one piece of the puzzle dealt with. Mustang still has a smoke, still has a kit. But a couple of rough positions. Jonesy waiting for the approach, but it's actually Mirth with a wide swing. Mirthwood, a legend. Started the round with a Galil and almost nothing else. Escapes from it with 3 kills and an AK. Talk about stonks. That's 9-3 going towards Team Verum. Going into this season of ESEA Advanced, Team Verum by Counter Nature. Counter Nature, good friends of mine. Counter Nature actually said that, or at least in their preseason power rankings, said that this squad was actually considered to be top 3 going into this season. Again, a very interesting prediction. Because if all goes well in that sense, I mean, playoffs might as well just be a guarantee. But it all starts with a win. It all starts off with a streak. It all starts off with momentum. And at least a sliver of a chance, because now Team Verum, they're looking to close out this game as they are heading towards double digits. 10-3 already, with 2 rounds remaining. Team Hyper will be able to get themselves a buyback. Little bit of a moment to say hello, falar. Oi, pela galera brasileira que estão no chat. What's up, everyone? Welcome to SNK. Hello, Magu. Same thing to AI3 TV. Bem-vindos, welcome on in, whether you are American, Brazilian, or anything in between. So 2 kills already going by for Team Hyper as Ajax clears up a whole lot of space. Team Hyper, they didn't exactly go all too aggressive in the round, but even then it still ended up biting them in the bud. 1 kill does go down in connector, but I think more importantly, Mustang does have the angle. He's going to be able to get himself a second. Still 1 over towards the connector area. Subarashi with a wide swing, going to be able to get it back. Still now a 1v3 for Deimos. Cheeky spot in heaven. So many flashes going by. Still has an opportunity for a frag. Gonna be able to get it. His aim on point, but he has to get that flick. Subarashi with the wide swing. What a route from Subarashi. Going for the cleared up angle on the left side. Awaiting the peak. Expecting the opper to get a little bit more aggressive off of that balcony area. And indeed he does. Team Verum now 11-3. Forcing their opponents onto a force buy. Again, wonderfully done. But still, there are a couple of gaps in the play of Team Hyper that could have definitely counteracted Team Verum a whole lot more. I mean, yes, it's easy to hype up the team that's on stream, but Team Hyper, you could tell that they're a team with a lot of potential. Just seems like this game, at least tactically towards the CT side, they've been getting picked apart. Hippo, Saver, and Deimos, they try to go for a crossfire in mid, but it doesn't work out in their favor. That's... I mean, I can't count how many times the crossfire setup like that has failed for this team, but War B walks right through the molly. This guy might have actually single-handedly saved the round. He throws down a molly, might just help out, but Mustang, he goes down. War B from beyond the grave. That molly that he threw down actually does get his target. What I said before was not hyperbole. War B might have actually saved this round on its lonesome over towards sites, but there's still more work to do. 1v1 for Waterfalls. He's going to be able to clear out this A site, and then after that, he's going to realize, oh crap, the B site empty. That's an easy rotation back, but still making his way in. Ajax, you're cheeky, but he misses the kill. How on earth Ajax has full info that Waterfalls is making his way towards his side, but just can't get it. Massive kill from Waterfalls, and that's actually going to be Team Hyper taking one back, ending the half 5-11. Esse narrador é gringo? Sim e não, amigo. Sim, eu sou brasileiro. Sim, eu sou americano. Isso daí é minha resposta. Shoutouts to Maxwell. What's up, Maxwell, in chat? How are you doing, buddy? Obrigado, SNK. Meu português não é o melhor, mas também eu cresci falando português, né? Não moro no Brasil nem nada, mas pelo menos eu posso conversar. Ter conversa normal. Quem sabe? But I can't exactly commentate in Portuguese, folks. It's not going to be something that I attempt to do throughout the season. But I could definitely communicate, recognizing that the boys of Team Verum, of course, very much Latin American or very much Brazilian in general. Earlier I saw some emotes talking about Brazilian soccer. Falando do tricolor. Falando do Colorado. Falando do Gaviões do Fiel. Eu sou corintiano, gente. Nasci em uma família com... Não, eu nasci com uma família de santista, São Paulista, palmeirense e corintiano. Então eu tinha que escolher um, né? Bem na hora que eu escolhi, Corinthians acabou sendo rebaixado. Então eu sou corintiano de verdade mesmo. Tô sério. Isso daí é o dor do futebol brasileiro. Um ano eles estão rebaixados, o outro ano eles ganham o Copa do Mundo, o Mundial de Clubes. Ué. Nem entendo mais futebol. Aqui nos Estados Unidos até nem tem, então nem tem problema. Assistir Brasileirão de domingo e tudo mais. A única coisa que eu posso fazer, né? Ladies and gentlemen, we are just vibing, of course. Speaking of both Portuguese and English, it's your boy Upmind here representing Team Verum for the weekend. This is the debut for both Team Verum and Team Hyper on the season. Players both records being 0-0. Team Verum and Team Hyper coming into this season with almost completely brand new rosters. This Team Verum squad, or at least the core of it, making a deep run last season in ESEA Advanced. At least getting themselves into losers round 2, if I'm not mistaken. So at least this one is a big test for the team, as Team Verum, they tried to really organize their squad. Really get the ball rolling, because there's a little bit of hype. There's not a lot of hype before a season or publicity for advanced teams. But in what would be considered the community, there is still a bumbling of hope for the Team Verum squad, as is for Team Hyper. Yet another team with good hopes of actually making it into the playoffs. Another team with high hopes of not only making it into playoffs, but winning this season. Pain Gaming is going to be the next opponents of Team Verum. How about that for a stream? A Brazilian organization versus Brazil's team in North America. That's going to be a huge game, ladies and gentlemen. You guys do not want to miss it. Team Verum versus Pain Gaming. For updates on that, follow Team Verum on Twitter at Team Verum. But Pain Gaming, of course, looking to get themselves a championship this season. Looking to make their way into Premier. Nice and easy. Team Verum looking to do the exact same thing. Same thing with Big Chillin'. Shoutouts to Big Chillin'. You guys might be able to see myself on some of their broadcasts. Both the organization of Verum and Big Chillin'. Very good friends of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, pistol round is fully underway. 3-man setup for Team Verum over towards this side. It is going to be Subarashi over towards the toxic barrels area, and it's going to be Jonesy actually starting things off at the pillar area. Couple of taps here and there. Subarashi barely even moving a muscle, but still getting a whole lot of damage. Hippo Saver is really the one to save the round, however. Barrel his way through Ajax, the one position that just wasn't revealed by any means. Waterfalls wants to go for this peek, and he gets the headshot. Mills the last person remaining. Now in a 1v3, Mills could win this out, but Waterfalls is the one to win it out. Unbelievable. 13 HP, and he's still able to get the last few frags. Team Hyper with a beautiful start. So this is where they can develop a little bit of hype, a little bit of momentum, but Team Verum, they do have a buyback, opting to actually force buy off of the 3K to 2K that they ended up garnering from the last round. Early on, however, they do get themselves a scout, glass cannon, of course, and Mills gets a nice bit of damage onto Deimos. All right, Ajax. Ooh! Waterfalls! Perfect timing as Jonesy goes for the jump peak. Lots of noise being made over towards that avenue. And now, Waterfalls can go absolutely nuts. They've opened up the B site. Ajax now has nowhere to go. Could easily get swung on. Mustang gonna be able to get the kill with a MAC-10. Still, Mills got a little bit of damage going a little bit early on. Still has the cross up with the scouts. Gets a shot onto Mustang. Wants to find a second. Gonna miss out on his opportunity. Tries to run away. Mirth now 1v4. But the round is over. Can't do much. It was a good try, but Team Hyper, I mean, well done. Not executing, not committing until really what would be a more secure site, a secure opportunity. But look at what Mirth has just done here. He popped out from top connector, went all the way back to spawn into underpass. And now this team is fully in his grasp. No way, Waterfalls. He drops in and still gets the kill with a P250. Waterfalls, 4K for him. Jeez. Who is this guy? 14 and 12. 4 kills away from the top fragger on the server, Ajax. Team Verum, what's up? This is a full 5-man rush mid. That nade doing such chunky damage. Oh no, through the smoke. Hippo Saver might get caught off guard. He throws a nade in there. Not going to kill Mills. He definitely takes on a chunk of damage. Hippo Saver trying to run away. There's no wide swing. Just a tense scenario overall. No issues, really. The rest of Team Hyper, they already have B on lock. Double connector. Could they take away this AK? Possibly they could. And indeed they do. No damage being done at all, but there is one person in connector. It is going to be water. What? Waterfalls, what on earth was that? An ace for the man as he collects 2 eco frags back at spawn. I mean, honestly, too easy. Frags in connector. But a 180 to put the nail in the coffin of the round. Jesus. Team Hyper isn't done, folks. With an 11-7 scoreline, Team Verum, they get themselves their first buy round. And Mills with the AWP. Down mid. Gets himself a massive frag early on. And that's Team Hyper. Spreading out what would be the approach of the round as, well, the rest of the teammates for this Hyper squad are all over towards B. It is indeed a slow approach to Team Hyper. In a pretty decent util setup, at least for now. Could utilize this well as Team Verum. They've done at least a pretty default 2-3 splits. And this could just be shut down by one player. Indeed it is! My God, Ajax! He's in the same exact position. Man's just vibing. 3 kills for Ajax. As Mirth is gonna get the last. Well, that's Team Verum in a nutshell, right? Ajax, what an explosion in the last few rounds. Said this guy just needed a little bit of space, and indeed he got it. 22 kills for Ajax, but Waterfalls is still keeping up. 20 kills for the man. 20. A battle of 2 top fraggers, really looking for some high ADR to start the season. Or B actually going to be able to get one onto Ajax early on. The linchpin of the team, down early. And what is the most important round thus far for Team Hyper of this entire game? They lose this one, they get reset, and Team Verum can almost easily make their way through in terms of scoreline. Spray down from Jonesy. War B through the smoke, gets it back. One person in toxic barrels, it's Subarashi. He goes for a wide swing. Not exactly wide, but at least a swing in general. Good flashbang, but it's still Waterfalls holding things down, waiting for Subarashi to actually get a peek in. War B does take one down. Same thing with Mirth. That's double for him. Last person remaining is Mills. Has the magic AWP in his hands. One in short. He spots him. Lets it drop. Waterfalls might have spotted him. And Waterfalls just goes for the wide peek. What a kill from Waterfalls. And Team Hyper's not done again. So Team Verum goes all in on the buy. 2 rounds in a row, they need to recoup it. Now they're back to square one, back to pistols. NT's in the chat, folks. Nice tries only. Early on, Team Verum with an interesting little setup. I like this stack up. This boost could be massive if they can actually spot anything over towards that squeaky area. Indeed they do, but they can't get the frag. So instead it's actually Mirth that gets himself a kill over towards mid, but it's really this B side that has become the war grounds. Waterfalls, however, goes down. War B. Speaking of war grounds, he's the war god at this point, making his way through alongside Mustang. Those are the kills done and dusted. Still a 2v1. Oh my! Mills in the back! Gonna be able to get one? No! Deimos! Perfect timing on his way back. He had no chance. Mills, a tragedy with a deagle. Could have somehow opened up the round for his team, but with that, the hope gets shut. Mirth now in a 1v3. Best thing this man can do is a couple of exit frags. Really try to make this at least a little bit expensive for this team. Mustang still on site, biding his time. Finally going to be able to make his way away. God, Mills. You got a feel for him. Had a perfect opportunity for at least one kill, but unfortunate timing. But a good take from Hyper once again. Scattered. I mean, it was aggressive. Not exactly conventional, but speaking of unconventional, Mills. Less than optimal start for Team Hyper, as he does get himself a whole lot of damage onto Deimos through the wall. 4 HP left. Slow control being made over towards the mid area, but even then, you do have most of the players from Team Hyper. Really just trying to maintain very neutral positioning on these sites. Coverage of every choke point, but even then, Team Hyper, that just gives them a whole lot more time to really try to find themselves a singular frag. And speaking of the person that might be able to do so, Mills. Oh no, Mills. He's in such a rough position. He's going to be... Whoa! 4x3 moments! Hippo Saver! He's going to be able to get one, but Mills gets the kill back. What on earth? Waterfalls gets the kill. There's one that always plays over towards Toxic Barrels, but he could be able to get the frag, but no, Ajax! He gets exposed. This round is just weird. But Team Hyper, we take those. They're not disappointed by any means. The way they looked at it, well, they just won out their battles. Team Verum, totally discombobulated, tried to go for a couple of cheeky plays over towards the B sites. But not only that, but a singular lurk over towards A could have been able to get 2 frags. It's simply not possible. Oh, okay. Sure. Feels bad for Mills. Not so much anymore. 2 exit frags for Team Hyper, but feels bad for Mills. He ended up getting 2 shots with the op onto some sort of body part. One through a wall that ended up doing 96 HP. A leg shot. Good wide swing from Bathroom to actually get the 2 kills, though, but that's not really going to matter going into this next round. Team Verum, they have a good bit of cash, but it's certainly not enough to actually get a full buy-in. Ooh, the admin saying, pizza party if we reach 50 followers. I'm down with a pizza party. Where are we going? Are we sponsored by any sort of food place or anything of the sort? If not, I have a couple of recommendations. Piefection. Really? We're actually sponsored by a pizza place. What? I mean, I'm not actually part of Team Verum. Just putting that out there now, but I mean, I am on their channel. Interesting. Team Verum making moves. Speaking of making moves, Team Verum. They're moving at their own pace. So they really want to shut down the momentum of Team Hyper right now. It's going to take 2 rounds to really do so. At the economic pace. But the rifles are bought out mostly. Jonesy has a UMP in his hands. Early control of Fountain coming in for Subarashi and Mirth. That's going to shut down at least one air of mystery and could actually lead to a faster rotation back over towards the connector area. But then again, still the air of mystery. Is there anyone actually over towards connector as we speak? There's 2 players in that area. Subarashi going to get revealed. That flashbang. I don't know who it's going to flash. Probably Yao Ming. But it's up and away. Now what on earth? Mirth. All the way over towards Mon. The bomb trying to make his way through, but Deimos is actually going to cut back over towards the B site. And not only that, but Mirth is going to be taken down. Look at this lineup, though. Mills! The double with Deimos. Barely enough time to make his way on. Still a man on site. It's actually Ajax with a kill back. Hippo Saver, $600. Kiss the bonus goodbye. His wallet's empty. He has an AK in full armor to take into the next round. But Team Verum, with a hope and a prayer now to close this thing out. Let's see if that could truly come into fruition. Huge round for both of these teams. If before Team Hyper were in a tense scenario where their economy could get reset, now it's gone even worse. Because now Team Verum, off of one win, one singular win here, could boot their way up to a 15-10 scoreline, almost guaranteed off the bonus. So watch out. Hippo Saver in mid, same thing with Deimos trying to make their way through Mirth. Had a decent angle, but it's heavily aggressive with barely any coverage. It does have a little bit of util to really make his escape and just try to hold back, but really no one from Team Verum are going relatively aggressive. This is very unorthodox hold the site, by the way. Very awkward angle for Subarashi and Jonesy. Oh my god. Oh my god! The counter burst! How on earth does that timing even go down? That is so unfortunate. Both teams going for a boost in a matter of milliseconds. Each other's boosts could have counteracted each other. But enough semantics. Mirth now. Here's a whole lot of sound over towards mid. Might be able to take down Deimos. Indeed he does. There's still one over towards side. That's Hippo Saver. Still has a little bit of an opportunity, but Hippo Saver, although he had a little bit of information, gonna be able to take control of the back lines. Takes down Subarashi. Mirth hasn't peeked out yet. 10 seconds left. Warpy with a kill. Still now in the control of Team Hyper. Is not only the site, but the round. A last second rotation from Team Hyper. After a very unfortunate little stack up win. This could go completely against them. Hippo Saver with a wide swing. What a flick from Jonesy. Good headshot. Still one over towards the mid area, but he has no clue. Still wants to fight Mustang. Gonna be able to get the kill. Still War B, waiting for his opportunity. Barely any time. I think he has a kit. Indeed he does. Still biding his time. War B got it. War B has won the round for, for Team Hyper. 13-11. And Jonesy is dead. No firepower into the next round. Team Verum, they go into this next round dry as now Team Hyper with a perfect opportunity to really take this game to the closest level possible. 13-12 potentially. One round between one another. Just need to fight their way through the pistols. Quite a bit of spam. Don't think there's a smoke down Ajax. What a cheeky peek this would be. No, there is. Doesn't really spot up on the mini-map, does it? But even then. Ajax close angle. They know that he's close. Mirth tries to get cheeky with it. Of course, it's pistols. Someone has to pull off some sort of hero play. But if there's anyone that could be a hero in the round, Mills had this opportunity rounds ago. And he's on a flank. Players are close. There's even an opportunity for a trade. Hippo Saber goes away. Same thing with Deimos. But no, Deimos again! Are you kidding me? Deimos, for the second time in this game, he has shut down a flank from Mills. Well, you got to feel for him. This round is almost certainly over. Subarashi. 22 HP. Picked up an AK. That's going to really help out his team going forward in terms of economy if he can actually hold on to it, but it's simply not going to happen. It's actually going to be Mustang with a kill back. 13-12, as I said before. Now it's Team Hyper's time. This is what they've really been waiting for, in a sense. They've already had 2 rifle rounds since the start of the streak from Team Hyper. They haven't been able to win either one of them. They've maintained a lead throughout the entire game thus far. But it could be shut down in one fell swoop with Team Hyper getting dangerously close to that 16th round. Subarashi. He's got to watch his head. Team Hyper. Heavy B attention. And still no approach. Just waiting out for what might be a rogue Verum player to try to go for a cheeky swing. But this setup is probably one that would be more or less expected. Ajax, he's already played this position before. And that bullet, oh, those bullets are already going dangerously close to Ajax. And they're pre-aiming that position too. I would not be surprised if Ajax isn't able to get a frag here. He's actually dropped. He wants to go deeper. What is going on? Well, he just lost a spot. He's just readjusting the angle of it. Still a decent crossfire. Jonesy is here to essentially play anti-flash. Ajax's first contact. Waterfalls goes out. One player is revealed, but even then it's Jonesy and Ajax. They save each other's butts, but still, a whole lot of util to cover themselves up, but no smokes. Ajax still gets a kill into Hippo Saber. Jonesy low on HP. Ajax gonna be able to get himself a couple. One player remaining. It's Warbita has to run away. Ajax with a 3K and a hope for Team Verum to close things off. Oh, man. Well, how about them apples? Team Hyper. What are they doing? They're actually super hard investing into this. Look at their buy, folks. Look at their cash. This could be disastrous. And, well, not only that, but their buys, it isn't much. Single AK, single Galil, triple Deeg. What a performance from Ajax thus far. 27 kills, could easily shut things down. With a 30 bomb by the end of things, his ADR must be through the roof. At least for this half. 103, 162 for Waterfalls. There's really 2 players on each team really pulling their own weight. And really pulling the weight of the entire team. But got to give it up to Hippo Saber. What on earth even happened? I think it was Hippo Saber actually with a kill off of a jump peek. Can't believe the observer actually missed it. I wonder who that is. But a frag early. Hippo Saber with a wide swing. Mirth going to be able to find one. A team flash. And Mirth not able to actually get the kill onto Waterfalls. So instead, Waterfalls extends his streak. Yet another kill for him. Mills Would have needed that massive frag, but a little bit more damage off the nade. 2 players over towards mid for Team Hyper. 1 person in long. They can make their approach, but Mills is so dangerously close. Mustang tries to make his way on. No scope from Mills! Opportune AWP play. Using the sniper like a shotgun. And now Team Verum, 1 round away from taking their first game here in Advanced. Team Hyper. What a fight. They put back. Is it? Whoa, this is not my internet. Oh no. What's going on? Did the server just go down? Are you kidding me? No way. I'm not the only one seeing this. I'm still up on stream. This isn't my internet, folks. I think the server for the game might have just went down. Either that or it's the GoTV going down. Oh, okay. I think the GoTV was just shut down early. So apparently, Ajax saying that the game ended. Right. Oh, okay, cool. What can I say? I can just say, okay, cool. So anticlimactic. It happens. Happens to the best of us. But it is what it is, right? So apparently the official scoreline is 16-12. I'm actually going to look on ESEA to really make sure. I want to see the final stat lines too before we shut off the show. I said that Ajax was very close to actually getting that 30 bomb. Indeed, he got pretty close. As close as you could get. 29 kills on the Knights. His ADR 115, top of the server. I mean, what a way to actually start the season, right? 115 ADR. On the other side of the server, 25 kills for Waterfalls. That's 102 ADR, ladies and gentlemen. Again, let me establish this. It is GG's. It is game over. Team Verum wins their debut in ESEA Advanced. How about them apples? But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, but it's regular season. What do you expect? But it is what it is. I hope that you guys really did enjoy the show, and honestly, I'm really glad to be here. I think last season I wasn't able to really broadcast all that much for Team Verum, and although I'm not actually a part of the organization, I really am a big fan of the team, and you guys should be too. You guys can go over to their Twitter at Team Verum to really get any updates on the team and whatnot. And of course, there is a big game coming up for the squad. If I'm not mistaken, it is already scheduled, so I can check the date. Indeed, it is going to be on the 24th, folks. So mark your calendar. This Sunday, it is going to be Pain Gaming. What might be considered the biggest hope to actually take away this season of Advanced and make their way into Premier, facing off against Team Verum right here on the Team Verum Twitch channel. You guys do not want to miss it. My name is Upmind. You can follow me on Twitter at Upmind_. And of course, Team Verum, I already mentioned them. You can follow them on Twitter at Team Verum. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.